Hi, guys, it's Mrs. Santiago here, and today we're going to start talking about telling time in Spanish. Before we start learning about the clock and how to tell the hours, let's take a minute and think about what do you use time for in your daily life? If you're in class with me, we're going to do a rally robin back and forth to create a bullet pointed list. If you are at home, you should be using this time to think, what do you use time for? I'm going to give you a minute to think about that. If you'd like to, you could pause the video to take more time or make a list on a piece of paper. Here are some of the ideas I came up with that I use time for in my life. The first one is to think about our class schedules. We use time to tell what time we have classes and what periods. We use time to figure out that it's time to go to bed or take a nap. We can use time in the airport to make sure that we are at the flight or the gate on time. We find time to do our homework. We basically just tell time by looking at the clock. We use time to microwave our food and our cook times. We use time when we think about distances. I live 14 minutes from Transit Road. We use time on our phones just to check the time. We use time when we talk about sports. We might be talking about the inning or the quarter. We use time when we use our GPS off of our phone or in our car. Your GPS will tell you it is 2 hours and 10 minutes from Akron to Syracuse. We use time to tell us when we have to go places or to leave for appointments. We use time to control our meal schedule, what meals we eat at what time. We use time to get up in the morning and make sure we get to school on time. And we use time to make appointments. These were just a few ideas. Now we're going to go and complete our notes page looking at the clock. There it is. When you look at the clock, you'll notice that at the top you see two types of clocks. Do you know what those two types are called? Let's think about it. You're probably most familiar with this one, which is digital. This is a digital clock where you see the numbers glowing. The other one with the hands is actually called analog. That's an analog clock. So digital and analog. If you look at the clock face here, you can see there are two hands on the clock. There is a rojo and azul. Well, those two hands have names. In English, we call the red hand the hour hand, and in Spanish, we call it el horario. The blue hand, or azul, in English is called the minute hand. In Spanish, it's called el minutero. Let's practice those two words, el horario and el minutero. Remember, the H is silent. Well, as we go around the clock, the first thing we want to talk about are the full hours. So those are the numbers on the inside of the clock. So let's make sure we can get those filled in because you're going to be saying them. Okay, so the first one, una, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete, ocho, nueve, and 10, once, and doce. Again, those that I wrote in red are the hours. On the outside of the clock, there's another set of minutes, numbers that are actually the minutes. So the first one is, let's see if you can do them. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, cincuenta, 55. Now those have to be written out in words. So we have cinco, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, and 55. Why don't we do 60? Remember when we reviewed numbers, we said we needed up to 60. But when you get to 60, you're actually moving on to the next whole hour. So we don't have to say 60. The highest minute number we would actually say is 59. All right, guys, I hope that helped. You'll use this information to fill in the first part of your notes page. All right, gracias.